3, 2, 1.
Folks, how you doing? It's your main man, HUBERT GUY. I'm back with another hit episode of The Actor's Cut. We live here in the studio, downtown NYC, MNN Studios. I got a very good friend of mine, a great client, a great musician, a great choreographer. We're going to talk to him tonight. Let me just let him go ahead and introduce himself. My friend, please introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Gregorio Hernández here, originally from Syracuse, New York. Born and raised Cuse alum. Came down to New York City about 2008, so I've been in the city now for almost a decade. Doing a little bit of everything. I play music, dancing, doing commercials. I've been out on tour. I just got back from a tour this summer. I went to Japan for 5 weeks, performed in Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya, Kyoto. Yeah, man, so I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man, I'm glad that you're here, man. We're going to talk to this dude. We're going to find out what more he has coming up, and what information and what helpful tips that he can give to people that's out there aspiring to do what he do. So who were some of your influences when you were growing up, when you were, because trombone is your thing, right?
It is, yeah. That's my main instrument. It wasn't my first instrument, though. My first instrument was actually piano, and that came about because I wanted to play drum set initially. That when I was a little kid, I was already moving around. My parents definitely took note of that. They'd throw on music and I'd always be bouncing around the room, or we actually had this little piano that was in my parents' living room. My parents were always spinning records, that's what they spent their money on basically before they had my sister and I, right? So, we
gotta stop our record collection, damn kids.
Yeah, so I grew up on a steady rotation of Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson and Earth, Wind and Fire, and the Beatles. And I really absorbed that. And that was actually the first piece of music I ever played was Stevie Wonder's "I Just Called to Say I Love You," and I when I was 3, I figured it out how to play the melody on the little the toy piano, and that was
3 people.
Yeah, so I think at that point my mom was basically we gotta get this kid in some music classes if we know it's good for us, It
was good for mom.
Oh yeah,
exactly right there.
Yeah.
What you were into.
My mom was very, very intensive. She was very aware. So she got me into that right away. And my dad had a friend who was a drum set player in a local band, and that's actually initially what I wanted to do. But he basically said to me that he said to my parents that I should take piano for a year so that I can learn how to read music, right? Learn how to read rhythms, and then he would give me drum lessons. And so, my parents said, all right, cool, that sounds good. So I got into piano, and then I just ended up falling in love with piano, and I played that pretty consistently, all the way up through high school, and in middle school when I still wanted to play percussion. I got to band in middle school, and they were like, all right, cool. Well, we don't really have a keyboard in the middle school band, if you want to play percussion, that's cool, but everybody else is going to play percussion too, so you're not going to get to play every song.
Right.
And at that time, I was just so eager to perform that I was like, no, I don't want to do that, because I don't ever want to have to sit out. I want to be participating every second.
Right. I feel that.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
You want to be involved.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, I'm not gonna play drums. That's cool. What else? And so I think they probably just needed trombone players, because it's not an instrument that a lot of people necessarily gravitate towards.
I played the trombone, right? I had my only class in music that I had, 7th grade music.
Right.
I played trombone. I made it all the way up to 2nd chair out of 10 chairs.
There you go.
And it was actually a hand-me-down trombone from my brother, my older brother Mike. He played trombone. So it was what was around. You play that.
Right. Well, that's kind of what it was. My band director at the time, he was like, well, you put together the trombone and kind of gave me a crash course on how to make some sound on it, and and I was able to do it right away. So you kind of said all right, cool, you'll start playing the trombone, and that was that was when I was in 5th grade, and I mean, at the time, it wasn't really something that I thought, well, oh, this is going to be the instrument that I'm going to be playing still to this day. I'm I'm about to be 34 now, you know what I mean? And so,
still rocking the ball.
Still rocking it.
Rocking the T-ball. That's how we do it. Rocking the T-ball.
Exactly. The bone is taking me all over the world, man. And even about the same time I got into music, my like as a little kid, of course, as a little boy, like my dad wanted me to play sports and baseball and soccer and all that stuff, and my mom basically said, if I was gonna play sports, I had to also take dance class.
Right.
That was
right.
it was a given.
But those two kind of go hand in hand, though, because a lot of football players.
Well, yeah, exactly, right.
So I mean,
well, and definitely now that's definitely it's a much more I think talked about correlation between those two. You want to be able to have the agility, that like core strength, and that type, and just the coordination, and so I think my mom knew that was going to help me play sports, but I also think she just also knew that she could just notice like what I was naturally doing.
Yeah, well, she saw what you was doing.
She saw what I was naturally
doing. Popping and locking. And she said, "We're gonna get that kid in some dance classes right there. That kid's gonna travel the world."
I jumped in a class with my sister, and it was just the two of us would do like little duets and everything until until I got to middle school, and it wasn't cool for guys to dance anymore. And so I just I let that slip away and focus on music, and was still doing lots of sports and everything. And then I got up to high school. I started getting more into acting. I started doing musical theater, the drama clubs, and singing a lot more in the choir. And I was playing in band and jazz band. Like anything I could basically get involved in, I was in it. Like I don't think I was ever at risk to get in trouble because I never had any extra time. All my slots were were filled up, and if there was an open slot, I was like, oh man, if I have it, I could do something else in that. You know what I mean? So
4:30 dance. 4:45, got a little break. No, let's put a karate class in there.
Yeah, exactly.
5 o'clock,
exactly.
Trombone practice.
Exactly, man.
And that's exactly what you should, because that's the only way that we get better at our crafts. And like how you said, when you were younger and it was just coming to you easy, just like that. And as you get older and when you're in this profession, just the different things that you do, the different instruments, it just if you have that musical inclination, it just comes. I was watching a thing on Sammy Davis Jr. the other day, and they were talking about how he never had any professional training in anything. He came up dancing with his dad. He started his first movie when he was 7 or 8 years old in 1933. Just that professional, just doing a dance repetition all the time and picking up instruments and doing it all the time. I mean, if you have it, you have it. You know.
Well, I mean, you touched on another thing. It's for the repetition all the time is part of it, because I mean everybody has their own talents and things that they kind of naturally do maybe a little bit easier than other people.
But that's how I got so nice and cut and repetition.
Yeah, you know it, man. You know what I'm talking about. It's like you gotta constantly work at that. That's that's why they call it your craft. You know what I mean. You're every day, even at this stage of the game, and I've been really fortunate and really blessed to have a lot of great opportunities, and travel the world. I've been able to, be in music videos with some of the top stars and perform on TV with, some of them. And
So tell us about some of the stuff that because you've been to Japan. You do all kinds of tours, and so tell us some of the stuff that you've done, man.
So probably
I know you don't know.
So probably the biggest, longest gig that I've had is with this theater show. It's called Blast. And what Blast is basically, it's a theatrical show, but it's not like your typical musical. It's like an instrumental sort of music dance event where you're basically dancing and playing instruments at the same time, and which kind of came out of sort of the combination of that marching band, drum bugle corps world, which for people that may not know what drum bugle corps is, it's kind of like marching band on crack. You know what I mean? You can actually see there's a little bit of kind of a breakdown of that. What is it? The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, he did a little documentary actually on a group that I performed with in the Bay Area in California called the Blue Devils, and it's called Clash of the Cores. You can stream it on Hulu. It's part of the Fuse network, right? So if you want to learn a little bit about that intensity, definitely check that out. Clash of the Cores on Fuse. So I definitely like from that world of performing in that, and that was really high intensity. Competition reps. I traveled all over the country and competed, and that's the first time I went to Japan was with them. They were invited to be a special guest of a marching music festival in Okayama, Japan, and then and Blast kind of evolved sort of from that activity. So because it's kind of the only place that you can really think of, having these people that are highly skilled at an instrument and also have a lot of experience with doing that while doing movement at the same time, which is it's definitely different than your typical, your orchestra, your band, even the horn section, in like the pop bands and everything. Like most of them are not doing too much movement, and that's not the case with Blast.
Right.
So
y'all was moving and grooving.
We are moving and grooving. It's a 2 hour. It's high intensity. I mean, it's like, and I mean, you're playing one instrument and you run off stage, you grab another one, and like come back on. You like run off. You like grab a drum, run off, and do that. And that was actually like how I finally ended up back and playing percussion. That's how I learned how to play percussion, was through that show. I got hired from that straight out of college. And sent in a whole audition process for that, and knew that I was going to be leaving to go on a stage tour like as soon as I got out of college. So when I started that, I still had not played percussion. I was playing trombone, I was playing euphonium, I was still playing like some keyboards and stuff like that. But they pulled me out of rehearsal one night, and they had this one drum marching snare feature in the show that they had some of the brass players to double on. And so they basically, said, hey, well, we think you can do this, just from what we've observed from you in rehearsal over the past few weeks. So we'd like you to go ahead and learn this new skill, learn this part of the show. And by the way, we open in 4 weeks in front of an audience. So I said, okay, I have to go from never playing percussion to now I have to like hyper focus on this and be able to have it at a performance level in front of a paying audience in a month, which it's usually not the way that you want to learn an instrument. That's not it's I did it. That's one of those crash courses, and that was every second that I didn't have the horn on my face. I literally was like I felt like I was sleeping with like the drumsticks underneath my pillow, just hoping that like maybe tomorrow I'll wake up and it'll just be a little bit like. And it's a lot mental too. It is a lot of mental.
It is so mental with just thinking that you can do it, and you have to tell yourself that like I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen, because that's the way that you get over those humps of insecurity of maybe like you know what I mean. You don't look at you don't think about like say like building a building and you think about like, oh my God, I have to do the whole thing at once. Even like the biggest buildings in New York were laid piece by piece. You know what I mean? You had to break the foundation. You got to start there. There's what is that? Will Smith has put out a lot of really some really great quotes on just work ethic and his process too, and from where he's come from, and his dad. One summer basically had a business and knocked down a whole wall and told him and his little brother they had to rebuild it, and they were daunted at the task, and it was basically just said, well, listen, like, well, you know where to start. You lay one brick, and then when that's done, you lay the next one, and it's a constant process of that you just have to sort of like devote yourself in the moment at the time to really what you're working on, and then you can always like kind of like adjust course as you're going along, but like you can't underestimate the consistent work.
you know.
And you can't underestimate yourself either.
No.
Because you are going to get it done. If you're not going to do it, who going to do it?
Right.
That's what I say.
Right.
That's what I say. If you're not going to do it, who else is going to do it? Better.
Might as well be you.
Might as well be you. Might as well be you.
Yeah, man. So you know, that's you know, so I really feel very blessed to have, you know, kind of been swept up into that show. Yeah.
Because, dude, I can remember, like, just a couple years ago, we were talking about all the different things that we wanted to do, man, and, you know, things were kind of, and then just everything, man, just bam, just everything just jumped off, man.
It seems slow going, and then it's quick.
Right.
You know, so
as soon as it happens, it happens.
You just have to like kind of hold on and just, you know,
it's happening.
Keep your head down. Yeah.
Right. It's happening.
All right, here we go.
You know,
that's the way of the universe, man.
That's how
you
it
know
is.
what I mean? Like sometimes you're swimming upstream, and sometimes the wind is at your back, and you always
Right.
just keep going.
Right.
You know.
Like my boy Billy B say, he'd be like, yo, one day you can be worrying about how you're gonna pay a bill, then the next day you got a couple million from something.
it can be
just like that.
It can be that simple.
Just like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So where do you see yourself going in this industry? Where would you like to go? What would you like to do specifically as far as music wise, and
Sure.
as far as the dance? Would you like to do something incorporated with the two, or would you like to like have two separate businesses? Like,
no, I'm definitely that's kind of a current project that is you know, still in early stages. It is sort of taking that experience that I've done it, and my love for basically for pop music and soul and R&B, and you know, like and you know, incorporating those two loves of mine, and really making the horn section more than just the guys that just sit in the back corner.
Right.
You know, and so that is going to be something that is going to be you know, coming down the pipe here. Hopefully, actually, you know, pretty soon. I've got some other friends of mine that are old, you know, performer buddies that we've done the show together, and you know, we're going to be, you know, working on some routines, and then hopefully you know, keep an eye on YouTube and my Facebook and stuff like that, you know, and hopefully, you know, we'll get some good stuff going on that soon. But I think that's, you know, and especially being an instrumentalist, there's always this you know, constant line that you're riding between. You know, it's an appreciation for electronic music and the things and the types of things that you're able to do with that, but still rooted in the instrumental music. I mean, like I'm a classically trained, you know, musician, and still, you know, there is definite merit to those types of, you know, beautiful big artworks, you know, with sound, and I think that. Especially now, it's so easy to put out stuff with technology and synthetic sounds that I think people almost forget
the real art form.
You forget
kind of like DJing.
Exactly, a little.
You know, like you had your mixer, you had your two turntables. You know, you had the mark. Now you know, you got a button that
you really had to know your stuff.
Right. You really had to know your stuff back then.
You really had to know your stuff.
And I think that just makes, you know, like how I say, like, the more you know about your craft, the more you're gonna respect it. The more the more you're gonna want to grow and love it. Like, you know, it's a lot of DJs out, like they don't even have a turntable. You know, probably some of these younger ones don't even know what a turntable is. You know what I'm saying? Or a mixer. You know, and if they got that, probably wouldn't know how to do it. Like I said, they hit a button nowadays. So I mean, it's really, you know, what you come from and what you're doing, and
definitely.
You know, so man, yeah, I feel that all the way.
Yeah, so you know, hopefully, you know, that'll keep on moving forward. I'm definitely looking forward to the future, and you know, especially like hoping that, you know, I can get on tour with some of those bigger artists. So Justin or Bruno, if you guys are watching, you know,
I can't wait till he go on tour because I'm his barber.
So you know he's going to be out there doing the fades. You know it.
Hubert, I need you to come to Japan.
Yeah,
coming on my way.
No second thoughts. Oh man, yeah, Japan is really amazing. It's a place that if you haven't been to, you know, definitely. do what you can to try to visit. It's
Right,
it's a
right.
really beautiful
that
place.
had to be a great because just the picture I was seeing the pictures off Facebook, and man, it just looked like a great place, man.
It
just
is,
looked like
man.
It was just so
it's
much to explore.
It's
there.
a lot to take in. I mean, in terms of history, it's an amazing amount of history. I mean, just centuries and centuries of history that still exists, and an extremely generous and respectful people that are there. So, Blast, the show, has been really popular there. So I've been really blessed to go. I spent a lot of time, and I've gone all over the country with that show many times over, actually. So the audiences there are. I mean, I really can't say enough about how
you said they want you to come back, like some more runs, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like for longer,
right?
Like longer. That's
so. I mean, they appreciate. I think the Japanese in their culture have so many artisans and craftsmen that still exist today, that their pride is on the details,
right?
And their pride is in the process, and their pride is in the consistency, and in all of those things. And just like being able to notice, what somebody is doing, and sort of take a look at it and say, like, wow, that's very highly specialized, and we can appreciate the amount of effort that really went into that, So there's things that like kind of float to the top maybe a little bit more than they might here, and which, I mean, it's a blessing and a curse that we have. We're exposed to like the best of the best from everywhere,
right?
You know what I mean? But I feel like American audiences can get a little bit fickle pretty easily.
Quick.
Because you see something that's amazing, and then 5 seconds later, oh, here's the next thing that's amazing. You know?
Right.
But in which Japan still has a little bit of that too. But I feel like they really do like take note and appreciate those type of things. So
you have to appreciate things. You have to take the time. If you don't, I feel like if you don't really take the time to appreciate something, then you don't really respect it that much, or you think, or you just put it out there, something on, but moving on to this. I mean, you gotta like respect your craft and like appreciate things.
Yeah. We always see the end product,
right?
Where you see a lot of end products of things, but you don't necessarily see how it went from start to finish.
Right.
I went and saw this Pablo Picasso exhibit at the Guggenheim, right? And you think Pablo, Picasso, he's considered like an artistic genius, of his time, and is still considered that. And you see his finished works and things like that, and you think that like, oh, this person just wakes up and just does that, and then it's like, oh, I have this thought, boom, and everybody, and just wait for the praise to come in. But in that exhibit, they basically pulled out just tons of studies of his, and so like even his most famous works, there's this one piece is called Guernica. It's a painting, and that painting had over 100 different tests until he made the final one.
Wow. Sketches
and other paintings, and you paint it, nope, that's not good enough. You paint another one, no, that's not good enough. There was over 100 of them before you get to the one that you can go and see in a museum.
Right.
And you think like,
that's love, right?
That's what it is. Like that's what makes the people that you look up to and admire and really take note of, and you see the end product, but behind the scenes is just countless
hard work
and
thinking and processing and brainstorming and planning
and just and playing. Basically, that's what art is. It's all about like the spirit of play and creativity.
So, 10 years. Where do you see yourself in this industry? Where do you see yourself in the game?
10 years from now, I think I'd like to be definitely in the production side, songwriting side of things, and doing working with a lot of top artists. I had a lot of experience in when I was coming up in college. doing a lot of recording and actually being a recording engineer. So I love that art form, and I love being in the studio and that whole creative process. So definitely hope to be doing a lot of that, and also designing more stage productions. Coming from
That's a big thing.
The lighting, the video,
Yes.
everything like that. I am really entranced by, just especially with technology, like with the type of the type of experience that you can create, and especially coming from like especially coming from theater as well. I think that like pop music and a lot of that stuff it's continuing to evolve, and it's becoming very theatrical. A lot of the artists that are out there, I mean, if you look at like Kanye's past couple of tours, he's really trying to he's trying to go for a place that like there aren't other hip hop artists that are trying to do that, which is really trying to create a show.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like,
yes,
and that's what it is. It's like that's where it goes from just going to see a band at the bar or at the club, and you want to go and experience something.
You go to a Kanye concert, and there's songs is built around a storyline. You got everything going on in the background.
The stage moves, you know what I mean? They've got like dramatic lighting and
that's
special
what
effects.
people want to see. I just don't want to go see somebody walking back and forth across the stage.
I would hope so if you're paying like over $200 for.
You know what I'm saying? For like an hour, like, dude, I could have watched this on YouTube.
Exactly.
I could have played the album and walked back and forth.
Be done with it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
I want to be entertained, because if you are an entertainer, that's what you do. You go to entertain. You have to put on that show. You always have to be thinking, what is the next step in the elevation in my show? What is the next step in the elevation of my craft, of myself? Because really everything boils down with you too, how you are as an individual, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So I mean, if you got that mindset and you just really want to go ahead and handle your business, you're going to handle your business. There's nothing that's going to be able to stop you. There's nothing that's going to be able to stop you. Greg, give everybody your information if they want to get in contact with you for anything.
Yeah, sure. So if you are interested in checking out any of my stuff, you can keep up with me on Facebook. Just look for Gregorio Hernandez. You can keep up with me on Instagram. That's probably the most used platform that I have right now. That's kind of pushing out announcements and kind of just get a feel for what I'm doing on the day to day. So if you check that out, it's GREG0H GREG0H on Instagram. Go and check that out. I've got some links to that from some of the shows that I'm doing, from some of the performances that I have coming up. I've got outside of music and everything like that, I also am a visual artist, so I've got a link to my art store. I'm a photographer. I got some original designs that are up there. It's a website called Society 6, Society the number 6. So you can check that out, society6.com/envy style, ENV style. You can check out. I'll show you a little bit. This is like a custom design that I made. This is all hand drawn on a shirt right there.
Your custom shirts.
Custom shirts. So if you want some of that action, you can come check me out. Check out some of my other designs that are up on the website there. You can contact me from either of those platforms.
Yeah. If you missed any of this information, the information is right there on the screen that you can get at us. It's HUBERT GUY with the Actors Cut, my man Gregorio Hernandez. Peace, and we out till the next time, Greg. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me,
Great show.
Thank you.
More to come. The Actors Cut. Peace. Fucking awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. Who the fuck was calling me? What the fuck is this?
Hello, I got you live.
We Facebooking live. Here with my man Gregorio Hernandez. That's how we doing it. Yo, welcome to the gun show.
Jesus.
Yo,
There he goes.
yo,
There he goes.
yo, them perfect push-ups and a small shirt from H&M.
He's trying to make the Manhattan.
Really?
He's putting the man in Manhattan.
Really
News
makes
Network,
it
right?
look like the work is going in.
Greg, do not encourage.
Oh, it's too late. He's been encouraging me for years.
Yeah.
That's why we're so cool. That's what we do. We encourage each other.
And what was y'all just doing?
We was taping my show, The Actor's Cut. Had another great show. I got some more great guests coming up tonight. Watch out for my series starting in December. It's going to be real big. I got my man Greg. I got Tiffany Handy. I got Tara Weddington. I got my sports guru homies, Ken and Dane. Isaac Thompson.
Yes.
Who else? Princess.
And many more to
Princess
come.
Bottom, and yeah, so many more.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. And guess what?
What?
Pretty soon we gonna go live. We gonna go national. We gonna go worldwide. We gonna get a syndicated show. We gonna get that money for this show. That's what we gonna do. I love you. Stay tuned. HandsomeGoodGrooming.com. Hit me up. I'm here. Greg, say something to the people.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Make sure to check him out. Handsome Good Grooming. He knows what's up. I've been following this dude for years.
I want to see that shirt.
You want to see this? Oh, right, yeah, sure. Yeah, I brought this today to show everybody a little bit of my custom designs. This is a custom right here, all hand drawn. I've got other stuff up on my art store. That's society6.com/MV style, ENV style. Photos, custom designs. You get all different stuff. You got the holidays coming up. I got lots of great stuff on there.
You got the holidays coming up?
Do you know, boy?
Send me your money. I'm going to send you some stuff. And people will like it.
And love it.
Yeah.
And he just came back from Japan.
I came back from Japan. I was performing for the wonderful people of Japan with a show called Blast.
Konnichiwa.
dancing, singing, playing instruments. Loving life, man.
The whole nine.
The whole nine. You know it.
Wow. Well, very proud
My
of you.
baby's
both.
always Facebooking live.
I
She's
am.
always
I'm so
Facebook-
proud of you, honey.
I know, baby. I love you.
Listen,
I love you.
you got to keep pushing it.
I love my wife. She supports the hell out of me. She does. She does.
It's teamwork that makes the dream
Teamwork
work.
makes the dream work.
Teamwork
makes the dream work.
And
So-
happy wife, happy life. Remember
Exactly. Or a knife.
that. Uh-oh. And on that, we're going to end it with the knife.
Happy wife or the knife.
Right. She said, or knife. Good Lord, she's crazy. Who else is calling me? Danielle. Told you I'm goddamn recording.
It's been a great ride.
Okay, so she's here.
Birthday's coming
Let me
up,
go
so
get her.
thank
Let me go get her real quick. I'll be
you.
right back.
Tonight, we're going to wait for our other special guest, which should be around 9:15, 9:30, so stay tuned. Do not miss it. It'll only be a sneak peek, and then you'll have to stream it, and which will tell you where to go on, and you can watch the whole interview. But he has, again, other great artists that's coming up. The ones that have done his show before. Don't miss it. They're funny, supports more businesses, people who's trying to make a difference out there. And, I'm just happy. I got off early. Thank you, Angel D'Angela. She let me wrap it up so that I can come and support him, which I can never do for some reason working. And this is a great opportunity to just be here, support him and Greg, who is exhausted, but he made his way over here because he loves you like everybody else. Who doesn't love you? Then we have to question you if you say no, you do not. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. And look at the Facebook and Instagram page on Handsome Good Grooming or Dear Blessed or Handsome Good Grooming. There's two of them. And you'll see our shirts. The wonderful Amanda May came through the studio today and gave us girls some gentlemen, T-shirts that says vaginas. Oh my God! You have to stay tuned or tune into that. Go to our pages and see that it is great, and I love that my Team Orange is supportive of so many things, and this is one of them. And I love you all. Have a blessed evening. Thank you, Patricia Williams and Jen, baby, for always tuning in. And we will talk to you soon. Okay.
Facebook
bye.
card. Baby, you remember Danielle from the play that I was in?
Oh, how are you doing? Bless my darling. How are you?
Trying to stay warm because it's starting to get cold.
No, it's not.
It is.
We can't have that.
What time is it? 8:28. If we can go on and come, let me show you.
Are you leaving us?
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to come hang with us for a little bit too?
I have to play a wedding in Staten Island tomorrow night.
We're not coming off that island. It's a one-way in there.
Send out a search party for me.